the mythical career of Triple G. I see as his career is winding down that the story is being told of Triple G. Story that he beat Canelo Alvarez. Even though we saw that it was scored a draw, even though that should be considered a close fight, he doesn't get credit for a victory against Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez in every close fight gets discredited. The possibility he could have lost it. But the possibility that Triple G could have just got a draw or could have lost that fight is not ever brought up. It's just brought up that he was robbed and that he should have won that fight. We're actually going to count it for him as a win. And I've heard people say that they actually have votes for him to be in the Hall of Fame. People that can actually vote have said that, well, he did beat Canelo. We just got to count that as a W. So that's his win to get in. But when the truth of the matter is, his biggest win is Daniel Jacobs. And Daniel Jacobs, all respect to him, is not an elite level fighter. He's not a Hall of Fame level fighter. And you hear things of, Triple G was actually way past his prime. He was washed when he fought Canelo the first 2 times. Canelo actually aged him out. And if he would have fought Triple G when he was 32 years old, it wouldn't have been close. He wouldn't have had a chance. It wouldn't have been the same Triple G. It would have been a way better Triple G. Even though we have proof of fights that he had when he was 32 years old, 31 years old, 33 years old, and it wasn't, and you could tell just by the film, by the tape, that he was not as good of a fighter as the one that fought Canelo. And you have to remember that just because someone is supposedly in their physical prime at that point, that doesn't mean they're at their technical prime. That doesn't mean they have their most knowledge in the sport. And when those two meet, that's usually when you're at your best. And if you can go back and watch him versus Kasim Uma, and go watch him fight Canelo Alvarez in the first and second fight, and you can tell me with a straight face and be honest with yourself that the one that fought Kasim Uma is better than the one that fought Canelo Alvarez, you're lying. What's happening with Triple G's career is it's becoming almost like a myth. It's becoming like stories of Hercules, where all the stories that are passed down and all these tales that are happening are way greater than what was actually seen. And it's almost building a legend of him that didn't actually exist. I think Triple G was a highly skilled fighter, very good fighter, but he never proved in his ring that he was a top 10 middleweight, that he was a Hall of Famer, that he was the elite of the elite. It just was never proven in that ring. Sometimes you don't get the breaks of the right opponents that you need, or sometimes you can go find them. And I know that I remember that when Canelo was at 154 pounds and Triple G wanted to fight him, Canelo said, "Let's do a catch weight." And Triple G said, "I don't believe in catch weights. I'm a middleweight. We're gonna fight at middleweight." That's respectable, right? Except he was trying to get a catch weight with Carl Froch to come down to 164 so they can meet up. So he did believe in catch weights. He didn't believe in catch weights for Canelo, but he believed in for Carl Froch. It's becoming legend. It's becoming myth. And this just scored how we saw it on paper, on what the actual result was. And we don't have to make up all these stories and tales that you guys are hoping to pass down from generation to generation, and people never look up on the film. The thing about Hercules is we couldn't look it up. About these mythical things is we can't go back and actually see the tale. That's why those work. You got YouTube now. We can see reality.